Man makes incredible discovery inside building he inherited from his great-grandmother. It's safe to say that the vast majority of material things, especially textiles from 40 or 50 years ago, have not stood the test of time. Heck, most of us are lucky to have clothes that last a few years at best, so you can forget about something that was around during the Nixon administration. So when one man discovered he had inherited a shoe store which hadn't been open for decades, he really didn't think he'd find much inside. But he was wrong. So wrong. Far from nothing, he instead found an absolute treasure trove. This old shoe store performed quite well throughout the 1940s, 1950s, and 1960s, but it eventually closed down after those decades. Since then, it remained almost entirely untouched. That is, until recently. The man who took these photographs was told that the store had been in his family for generations. It wasn't until his great-grandmother became ill that they were forced to close it. Now, decades later, it was finally ready to be explored. While the store may be covered in a thick layer of dust, the shoes were still good as new. In all the time that the shop had been out of business, no one had come to empty it of its contents, which meant that it was like stepping into a time capsule. And oh boy, what a time capsule it was. Through all of those decades, the shoes had remained in relatively perfect condition. Why, with a little bit of dusting, okay, maybe a lot of dusting, the store could almost be reopened. Would you shop here? When the man opened up the boxes, he was surprised at the quality of the footwear. The shoes were sleek and stylish, and many could almost pass for something worn today. Take the ones below, for example. With a little sprucing up, they could be in a store right now. Chunky heels are in, after all. After so long without being touched, the shoes were ready for their modern debut. The old brands and names even added a certain classic vintage feel to the footwear. The boxes were especially fun looking too. This vast treasure trove was just loaded with incredible finds. From leather loafers to stiletto heels, the place was packed to the gills with quality items that had been left untouched from the passing of time. You could actually wear a lot of these today. With a pair of fresh laces, these boots could make a nice addition to a fancy department store's front window display. There's practically no difference between these shoes and what's sold nowadays, is there? It's like some sort of time machine. These cute little children's shoes are pretty lively. To think that they've just been sitting untouched in this old store for more than 40 years is pretty insane. It's like stepping into a museum, a shoeseum, if you will. Or maybe the store was more like an alternate dimension, full of awesome vintage stuff that never went out of style. These might as well be modern Vans or Converse slip-ons, seeing as they look the same. This pair's pretty stylish, no? The plaid section sure makes those white kicks stick out. It makes you wonder if Red Shank still sells any shoes. If they made saddle shoes as cool as these, they'd probably come back in style in a heartbeat. The best part? Shoes weren't the only things that were discovered in the store. Take this mysterious piece for instance. Though it doesn't look like anything special, just some sort of bedside table, its true identity might shock you. It actually was a Victrola credenza talking machine, and it was full of records. What a find! This might have been the coolest thing to be left inside the store. Well, besides the old school kicks, of course. Now that they've revealed what was hiding in the shoe store, only one question remained. What would the man and his family do at the shop? Given all of the merchandise inside, would it be too crazy of an idea if they were to reopen the store for business? Or would they be better off donating them? It really was a fully stocked building though, and it would be a shame not to rejuvenate the family business. It was almost crazy to consider how no one in the family decided to sell it or the items inside before it was passed on. Rarely do these sort of assets just sit there, perfectly preserved. Clean off all that dust and you could practically have yourself a brand new shoe store. An inheritance like this would make anyone jealous. Hopefully, this family found a great shoolution for what to do with this collection. Share this incredible discovery with your friends.